welcome to News at this hour. I'm your host Rika Roy and this is our top story. US Vice President JD Vance, who's in India for a 4-day visit, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi today for a closed-door meeting. The meeting between the two leaders came at a time when the world is facing uncertainty over a raging US-China trade war. The meeting, which was followed by delegation-level talks, also comes at a time when India and US are at an advanced stage of talks to firm up a bilateral trade deal that will benefit both the nations. President Trump, who has imposed a 26% tariff over the previous 10% tariff on Indian goods, has currently put the new reciprocal tariffs on pause for 90 days, which is seen by many economists as a window to finalize the win-win trade deal between both the sides. My colleague Gauri Dwivedi reports.
Prime Minister Modi and Vice President JD Vance have concluded their meeting. Extremely important meeting that started some time back and covered a whole host of and gamut of opportunities and possibilities that lie ahead as far as the US-India relationship is concerned. Of course, some difficult conversations that were related to trade, immigration, were likely to have come up. There is no official word as yet in terms of a readout, but there has been expectation that this meeting has taken place in the shadow of Trump tariffs that rattled the world, but did give India that 90-day pause period that is being utilized by policymakers to thrash out a trade deal that will not only insulate the trade of India and US from the trade tensions, but also, of course, lead to the bilateral relationship probably opening up to more possibilities. Trump 2.0 administration does lay a lot of emphasis on economic ties and, in fact, views relationships through that prism as well to some extent, which is why a trade deal may actually be a huge win for India. Some of that conversation is likely to have come up in the meeting today that took place between Prime Minister Modi and Vice President Vance. Apart from that, several other key areas are likely to have touched upon. It's unlikely that particular deliverables may come out, whether it is related to immigration or technology or any of it, but it probably will pave the way and set the groundwork for some of these deals and discussions to reach a closure sometime in next couple of months. And it also, of course, lays the groundwork for the Quad Summit that will take place in India later this year that will be chaired by Prime Minister Modi. And some of these, of course, decisions and discussions are likely to culminate into that summit later this year.
With an eye on defense, energy, investment ties, PM Modi will be on a 2-day Saudi Arabia visit from Tuesday. He will hold talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to boost overall bilateral ties and exchange views on pressing regional and global issues, including the overall situation in the Middle East. Several MOUs, including one on green hydrogen, are expected to be signed by the two sides. My colleague Mohammed Ghazali reports.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Jeddah tomorrow. Right now, we are in Hotel Carlton, and you see the preparations behind me. These are the boards here with Salam Modi. This is where a cultural event is scheduled, which the Prime Minister will attend and may or likely to interact, is also likely to interact with the Indian community. The schedule goes as such. The Prime Minister will be landing tomorrow at around 12 p.m. and after that, the local time in Saudi. And after that, he will be heading to this hotel, Hotel Carlton, where the preparations are on, where the Prime Minister will be meeting with the community members, a yoga instructor who has been given the highest civilian award in India. She will be also around. Prime Minister will also interact with the Indian community members here. But there is very likely that he may not be addressing them, but will be just a meet and greet program will be organized here for which the preparations are all on. It is expected that large number of Indian community members will be gathering here to meet the Prime Minister. And after that, in the evening, it is expected that the Prime Minister will head to the Royal Palace of the Saudi family, where he will be meeting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who also happens to be the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, where there will be bilateral meeting between the two countries with a group of ministers from both sides. And then they will have a strategic partnership council meeting. Now, this strategic partnership council meeting is a special group between the two countries to focus on trade ties, investment, defense cooperation. And that is when, after a series of meetings at the Royal Palace, the Prime Minister who has been invited for dinner there. And after the dinner, the day one of his scheduled visit will get over. It is very likely that this particular visit of Prime Minister is expected to boost trade ties and investment with Saudi Arabia. A particular focus will be on the defense cooperation between the two countries. And also, Prime Minister is expected to be apprised about the happenings in West Asia. We are seeing West Asia is on the brink right now. The war between Israel and Hamas has been going on. The ceasefire has collapsed there. Prime Minister will be expected that he will be briefed by the Saudi Crown Prince about what is happening in the Middle East and the West Asia. So this particular visit will not only just bolster the ties between India and Saudi Arabia as far as different domains are concerned, but as per a statement from External Affairs Ministry, it is expected that both sides will also explore new avenues for investment. In Jeddah, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Switching tracks, former Karnataka DGP Om Prakash was stabbed while having lunch, according to sources. He was reportedly eating a meal that included two types of fish when the couple had an argument and the wife suddenly attacked him with a knife. Police have booked the wife and daughter for the murder of former Karnataka Police Chief. Pallavi, the wife of ex-DGP, confessed to having murdered him. The wife has been arrested and will be produced before the magistrate.
A murder that shocked Karnataka and the country. The former DG IGP of Karnataka, Om Prakash, was found dead at his residence on Sunday evening. As he lay there in a pool of blood, it became clear to the cops that it was an inside job. The complaint by the son confirmed their suspicion. In his complaint, he suggested that his mother and sister were responsible for the death of his father. The wife has now been arrested by the police as the crime branch will take over the investigation.
Police is taking care of their job. I have full faith in our police department. I don't want to commit anything else.
Investigations have shown that chili powder was thrown at him before he was stabbed multiple times. After the murder, the wife is said to have called the wife of a former police officer and confessed to have killed who she termed a monster. Those who knew the former top cop say he was a good officer and a good man.
ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಅವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 2015ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವನಾದಾಗ ಅವರು DGP ಆಗಿದ್ದರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಭಾಳ ಒಬ್ಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು ಏನಕ್ಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ತನಿಖೆ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
While the wife is said to have been battling depression and other mental illnesses, could this murder have been averted with more caution is the question that comes up. Deepak Bopana with video journalist Kumar for NDTV.
Meanwhile, in Bengaluru, an Indian Air Force officer was allegedly assaulted by a group of men while he was on his way to the airport with his wife, who is also an air officer in the Air Force. The incident happened on Sunday evening. The wing commander suffered injuries to his face and head. With blood on his face and neck, the officer shared a video narrating the incident. In fact, wing commander's boss's wife, squadron leader Madhumita, was driving him to the airport from the DRDO colony in the CV Raman Nagar in Bengaluru. But CCTV cameras also reveal that he beat up the attacker. His wife has filed an FIR.
Hello everyone, I am Wing Commander Shiladitya Bose and this is my wife, squadron leader Madhumita. We stay in DRDO, CV Raman Nagar, phase 1. Today morning, my wife was driving me to the airport and suddenly one bike came from behind, stopped in between, stopped our way. I will show you the video of my dash cam also. He came out, started abusing me in Kannada and then seeing that my car has a DRDO sticker, he says that you DRDO people and said many things in Kannada, and finally she abused my wife and then I couldn't bear it. When I was coming outside, immediately he took his key in his hand and hit me on my head. taking my blood out. I stood there shouting that this is how you people defend whom we defend. Treat a person from the army, from Air Force, or from Navy, from the defense forces.
Is it a case of road rage or it's a case something related to language dispute?
It is a clear-cut case of road rage, nothing to do with the language. And it is a fight between the officer and that accused we have secured him. All the CCTV footages in different angles and there's a video shoots done by the localites indicate that both of them have fought on the road, and it's a clear-cut case of road rage.
Entire episode has sparked off a big controversy, again raising questions about safety in Bengaluru. Road rage has been a big cause of concern. We've seen in the past as well multiple instances where for no reason people in their cars have been attacked, and then once the attack begins, the language issue has come in. But in this particular episode, while of course initially the video of the wing commander bleeding profusely, narrating that ordeal that he went through went viral, the police of course initially found it difficult to trace him because he was traveling in the morning towards Kolkata. Eventually, of course, getting a hold of his wife, and then an official FIR was registered. They got hold of this individual and arrested him or picked him up for questioning as well. Then they've questioned him. They've identified the location where the incident took place, and there the CCTV footage that they have released shows that both of them went at each other. Now, it's also not very clear at this point in time whether this man who's been picked up, whether he wants to file a counter FIR. If that happens, how will the police approach this will be very interesting to note. But like you mentioned, there's of course two sides to every story, but here there is of course a lot of questions raised on whether this is selective footage that is coming out. There's also questions raised on whether there was only partial truth to what the initial story that was narrated. Now a thorough detailed probe is required for the police to come out and give us more clarity as to what exactly happened.
Tahawwur Rana, an accused in the infamous 26/11 Mumbai attacks, has requested to meet with his family, for which he has moved a Delhi court. The 26/11 terror attacks accused has submitted an application requesting permission to communicate with his family members, according to reports. In response, the Delhi Patiala House Court has issued a notice to the NIA regarding his plea. Rana moved a plea through his counsel on the 19th of April before Special Judge Hardeep Kaur. The court is scheduled to hear his arguments in the matter on 23rd of April. The Pakistani origin businessman was on 10th of April sent to 18-day custody by a court. Time now for a very quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin on Monday sought to know if the centre endorsed his Maharashtra counterpart Devendra Fadnavis's position that no language other than Marathi is compulsory in the state as the third language under the national education policy. He said after facing a massive backlash for imposing Hindi as a third language, the Maharashtra CM now claims that only Marathi is compulsory in his state.
This is being seen as vindication of the ruling DMK stand against the three-language policy, Rika. The Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has asked the Prime Minister and the Education Minister to confirm whether they endorse the announcement of Fadnavis in Maharashtra that besides Marathi, the mother tongue there, no other language would be compulsory. He seems to suggest that Fadnavis has announced that besides Marathi and English, there will be no other language that needs to be learnt. And he wants the centre also to release the 2,150 crore funds withheld for Tamil Nadu because the state did not comply with the three-language policy. And Stalin says this is a clear indication that there is trepidation in Maharashtra over strong objection to Hindi being earlier announced to be learnt or taught mandatory by Fadnavis. And the BJP sources, of course, deny these allegations, saying that what Fadnavis has announced has been misinterpreted. Fadnavis has only reiterated that except Marathi, the mother tongue, no other language will be compulsory which means the learners or students there have the choice to choose any language, and Hindi will not be made mandatory. That's how they interpret that. But it's certainly a game of words now, and it will be interesting to watch whether the BJP will now soften its stand, particularly in its own state ruled by the BJP in Maharashtra.
Right.
It seemed to be second thoughts on making Hindi mandatory there.
Now, during his official visit to Boston, leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, launched a scathing attack on Election Commission alleging irregularities in the Maharashtra Assembly elections. Mr. Gandhi ended up accusing the Election Commission of being compromised. The remarks made at a public event in Boston have stirred a strong political reaction in India, particularly the ruling BJP, calling him a traitor. The EC has reiterated its stand on the fairness of the Maharashtra polls.
As political temperatures rise in India, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is making headlines from across the Atlantic. While facing intensified scrutiny over the National Herald case and Enforcement Directorate action, Gandhi has now turned to attacking the Election Commission, this time from a stage in Boston.
Between 5:30 in the evening and 7:30 in the evening, when the poll was supposed to have closed, 65 lakh voters voted. Now, that is physically impossible to happen. It is very clear to us that the Election Commission is compromised. It's very clear that there is something very wrong with the system.
His remarks mirror concerns he voiced earlier, most notably after the BJP-led Mahayuti's sweeping victory in Maharashtra in 2024, which Gandhi had labelled deeply suspicious. Back home, the BJP wasted no time in responding.
महाराष्ट्र में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को और उनके अलाइज को जीतना नहीं था और कहीं न कहीं इलेक्शन कमीशन ने हमारे साथ समझौता किया। मैं राहुल जी से पूछना चाहता हूं, राहुल जी, झारखंड भी तो उसी समय चुनाव हुआ था, क्या आपने इलेक्शन कमीशन के साथ झारखंड में समझौता किया था?
This isn't the first time Rahul Gandhi has chosen an international forum to air domestic concerns. Meanwhile, Congress and its allies are standing by its leader.
मुझे लगता है नेता प्रतिपक्ष की जिम्मेदारी है कि जिस लोकतंत्र पर हम विश्वास करते हैं, अगर उस पर प्रहार हो रहा है, उनको डटकर इस पर बोलना चाहिए.
What he has said is 100% true, and the world is aware that the Election Commission of India is an absolute corrupt and compromised body.
The Election Commission reiterated its previous stand and rejected allegations of voter list tampering made by the opposition. The timing of Gandhi's comments is striking, coinciding with mounting legal pressure and questions about the Congress's electoral roadmap. With Malvika Murali, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Bengal STF has arrested 2 sons of Ziaul Sheikh, detained 15 others in connection with Mushidawad violence with the help of Odisha police. The 2 sons are prime suspects in the murder of a father-son duo in Mushidawad's Jafrabad during the violence. The 2 are identified as Bani Israel and Shefaul Haq. The arrests have been made for their involvement in the communal violence that broke out on 12th of April over amendments to the controversial Waqf Act.
As we have been reporting, 3 SITs have been formed by the West Bengal police, and this particular one was a joint operation with the Odisha police, where these suspects had fled from Mushidawad and entered Odisha. During the raid, they were arrested by the police. A pistol has also been seized from their possession, and they have been brought back to West Bengal for further investigation. 6 of them were brought in from Odisha in Jharsuguda earlier today. And of course, the investigations carry on. This is the 10th arrest in this case of the father and son who were brutally killed in the morning of 12th April, a day after the Waqf protests had.
Does men have any political connection?
Well, these are all, right now, they're just locals from the neighboring village of the place where the father and son live. and they're all aged between 20 to 25. So we'll have to wait and see when they're produced in court tomorrow what the police has to say about them. But right now, of course, more importantly, all the arrests that have been made so far are all under Jangipur Police District. None have been arrested so far from any other district or outside West Bengal.
US President Donald Trump expressed confidence that Russia-Ukraine will reach a truce this week. This comes after a Truth Social post where Trump hinted at a potential ceasefire being reached even though the 30-hour Easter truce announced between the two countries fell apart.
Do you think Russia and Ukraine can get a deal this week? Do you think Russia and Ukraine can get a deal this week?
There's a very good chance.